Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we're doing something a bit different. I got a little bit bored, so I thought, you know what, let's check out Valentino Rossi The Game. Now, it's been quite a few years since this came out. It came out in 2016. Yeah, because it was also known as MotoGP 16 in a way, because this literally was the MotoGP game this year. It was just called Valentino Rossi The Game. Now, I'm sure that probably wasn't very enjoyable for you if you didn't like Valentino Rossi, but for most people I think it was okay. You could still play the 2016 stuff. So let's go into it then. So as you can see, it's very much themed around Rossi, of course. I think it was because it was his 20th season, obviously 2016. So there was different things you could do. So you could do stuff in the MotoGP world or the VR46 world. So if we quickly have a look at the VR46 world, basically you could do flat track races at the ranch. Basically a load of ranch stuff here, just different kind of races. You could also do rallying, which just don't do because it's horrible. The physics were horrendous. Well, the physics were horrendous in the game anyway, but in the rally, they were absolutely horrendous. You could do drift races as well, and you could also do Yamaha R1M races. They weren't too bad. The flat track stuff and the Yamaha R1M races, I did get some enjoyment out of. The car stuff was awful. The physics were horrible, so it wasn't really worth playing. So we might do a race on MotoGP and then maybe something with the flat tracks or something like that. You also had the Rossi Experience, so basically just historic challenges. So they had real events before this in MotoGP 15, and they were literally just basically rehashes of that, but they were just based on Rossi's career, if it ever loads, that is. So you can see I went through and did most of them. I think I did a live stream a couple years ago, maybe, was it? Might have even been last year, but I tried to complete them all, and you can see I did not get very far. I think I did about half, but there was a lot to do, and they take ages to do as well, some of them, so I didn't get all the way through. So if you ever want me to finish those, I guess we can have a go. There's also Challenge the Doctor, where you have to beat his times. Well, just times that they'd randomly set at the tracks, just playing as him on some of his different bikes. Challenges, what was this actually? I think by the looks of it, it just gave you a random track and just gave you a time to beat, and you could get VR points. Oh, I forgot about those VR points. If we go on the Rossipedia here. In fact, I have hardly anything on here, because I used to play this game on Xbox mainly. I only got it on PC just for some mods, for like the 2017 update and stuff like that. But yeah, you had these VR points. You can see in the bottom right hand corner how many I've got there, and you could use it to buy literally different things. So you got all these for free, I think. You got all of his bikes for free, but you could also buy special helmets and stuff like that. It was quite a cool feature, really, to be honest. It was some good fan service if you liked Valentino Rossi or were interested in his career. If you weren't, then I'm sure this was really just pointless, and this game was probably quite lackluster for you. But it had lots of features, like you could buy the Bye Bye Baby t-shirt they had at the end of 2010 on the podium. It was quite good, really. You could get this testing skin as well for 2013. It's kind of frustrating me how off-center that is, look how much it clearly changes. The models are exactly the same, by the way, so that's just they've placed them wrong. Special helmet here as well. So yeah, you could get a lot of stuff. It was quite cool in that aspect. It gave you something to work towards, really. That was his main sort of thing. So if we go and actually have a look at that, so if we go into the MotoGP world, then you could do a Grand Prix. We'll do Grand Prix. So you had all these classes then. So you had the 2016 season, I should expect, because obviously, like I said earlier, it was the official MotoGP game for 2016. So it had all the 2016 riders, so all of them from MotoGP, Moto2, Moto3. There was no Red Bull rookies then, actually, which was interesting. I think it's the only game I can think of for a while not having Red Bull rookies. So MotoGP 13, 14 and 15 all didn't come with Red Bull rookies, but you could buy it as an additional DLC after the fact. So if you want, like, they used to release it a little bit later. Although back then they used to make a Moto2 and Moto3 DLC as well. I think it used to launch on the day of release, but I think they wanted longer to work on the Moto2 and 3 stuff, and because it was quite large, it used to be an update it used to be a free DLC that you could buy. Well, not buy, but a free DLC you could download. It completed the class because otherwise it wasn't complete. But on this game, there was just no Red Bull rookies at all. You couldn't even buy them. There was DLC for it. I don't think I actually ever really got any of it, to be honest. I might have got some of it on Xbox, but I'm not sure if I really got any of it on here on PC. And then you also had the 2015 season. So this was the last game where, yeah, this was the last game where they had the previous season. They always used to have the previous season in for some reason. So in 14 they had 13, 15 they had 14, so on and so on. And then obviously in this game they had 15, but from MotoGP 17 onwards they never did that, which, to be honest, no one really ever played the previous season anyway, because you'd just been playing it for a whole year, so you know, it was nice to get something new. And then you had the 4 strokes, which we still got, the 2 strokes, then you also had 250cc 2 strokes, and 125cc 2 strokes. which I'm sure you probably do know, but these were basically Moto 2 and Moto 3 before Moto 2 and Moto 3 were a thing. But it's really old stuff. It's not like just pre-Moto 2, like it's like the 90s stuff, because it's when Rossi was in these categories. If you have a look at all the old riders and stuff, you'll probably recognise some of the names. Jorge Martinez Aspar, actually being a rider back then, rather than just a team owner. There he is again, and then Emilia Alzamora as well. So lots of famous names there racing. So we'll do a race on the 2016 class then. I've been rambling on and on about this game for quite a while now, but I suppose that's the point of the video, isn't it? To sort of just look at the game and kind of explain what it was like. So like I've been over before, you had all the 2016 riders. Well, actually, interestingly enough, if you went custom rider, you could. That's my rider. Oh yeah, that's stats. I completely forgot about the stats. So all the riders had stats in the game. So braking, rein ability, throttle management, agility, cornering, body position, physical condition. I don't think the official riders had all of them, but they had some of those stats. And by basically playing the game more, your stats just went up. Now, what difference it really made, I don't know. I never really noticed a difference. I think it did make you a bit quicker, but I can't be too sure. And another thing that you'll notice, which is really, really weird, it's the weirdest thing for me. I don't know whether other people think so. Look at the leathers, right? They just look off. They look wrong. And that's because they are. So for this game, I guess because it was Rossi, and they were trying to make it an accurate experience. Up to this point, the only suits you could get were Alpine Stars. You couldn't get non-Alpine Stars custom suits in every game before this. Then this game, you couldn't get Alpine Stars, but you could get Dainese. But it wasn't the actual right Dainese model. Look, it was just the Alpine Stars model, but just plastered Dainese logos on it. So all the custom suits just look wrong in this game. I mean, obviously now, since MotoGP 19, you can pick between Alpine Star and Dainese. I mean, even now, still, some of the Dainese suits aren't... Well, and the same with the Alpine Star, some of the suits just look wrong. But in this game, they all look wrong, just because they're on the wrong model. They haven't even got the right N file, I don't think, like the right bump map. They just all look horrendous. So we're not going to be playing as a custom rider, but that did just remember it. Yeah, there's the stats you can see. So Rossi was a little bit OP in this game, although Lorenzo wasn't much worse. Marquez was pretty good as well. Obviously, you got to remember this was 2016, so Rossi, Lorenzo, Marquez basically were the three fighting for the title that season. Lots of different winners actually in the season, but those three were the ones fighting for it. So I think we'll actually play as Maverick Vinales. He got his first win in this season. So calendar-wise then, so you got Qatar, Argentina, Austin, Jerez, Le Mans, Mugello, Catalonia, Assen, Sachsenring, Spielberg. So this is actually the first time that my favourite track to play online nowadays was in the game, which is actually crazy to think about. I remember thinking of this as a new track, and now actually I don't really think of it as a new track. It doesn't seem alien to me, but it wasn't all that long ago it was added to the calendar, the Red Bull Ring. So 2016 was its first season. And you got Brno, Silverstone, Misano, Aragon, Motegi, Phillip Island, Sepang and Valencia. So most of the tracks are the same. You can't play as historic tracks on any of the 2016 bikes for some reason. I have no idea why that's the case. We'll play Mugello then, go on. Yeah, we'll leave the settings as they are. Let's just head straight into this. I'm sure I'm going to fail really badly because the physics are going to feel so strange to me.
Hello to all you bike fans tuning in. Today's MotoGP race is being held in the rolling hills of Tuscany, where the Italian Grand Prix is about to start.
So they're still using the exact same script even to this day with the introduction. And if you look at the game, the graphics are actually pretty good. It hasn't aged poorly. It's just because the tracks aren't scanned in properly. So it makes it look quite bad, really. But the graphics aren't too bad. The sound is horrible. This is like the old sound. So MotoGP 17 was the first game that had decent sounds. But before that, it was awful. Tucking in then. I've got to press Y to tuck in, because that's what I've got it mapped as. This was before, well, actually auto tuck-in was the thing you could have. Oh, I braked at the new braking point. I forgot this game was absolutely ridiculous. You can brake super late. So let's see what we can do then. Look at the inside of Bautista, past Bautista we go. Look at the inside of Miller. Oh, I thought I was going to lose the front then, but there's absolutely no feeling at all through the from vibration triggers. And you can just go full throttle. There's just no power. I think it's because I got really high traction control on. I've just gone through. Oh, I've gone down. Ah. Okay, I wasn't sure what button the rewind was, but there we go. We just went straight to the side of poor old Jack Miller. Oh, there's not much of a slowdown introduction, is there? I was expecting it to be a bit slower going back in. Our corner cut. I've hit to the side of Stefan Bradl. There we go. We're past Bradl. We're up into 17th now. I probably shouldn't have put it on the hardest difficulty, but you know, whatever. We've gone off at Casanova. Oh, we've almost hit Bautista again, so we're back down into last again. Come on, we can do this. But yeah, as you can see, the track is horrendously inaccurate. I mean, the curb is about half the width of the track if you look here. I mean, yeah. I suppose at the time, there definitely would have been people that moaned. I didn't really moan because I didn't know the difference at the time, because I'd only ever really played MotoGP games by milestones, so I didn't know that really these tracks were horribly inaccurate, because a lot of the tracks didn't appear on other racing games that I had. I've gone in too wide. Let's go and undo that again. But as you can see, probably from me playing, that the physics are absolutely horrible. Like, they are atrocious. Look at the understeer. Look at the understeer through here. I've gone onto the red. I think we might need to restart this one, because we are so far behind. Into the last corner. Oh no. Oh, how did I stay off from that? But this, there we go. We can show this off. It's a perfect opportunity to show this off. Well, actually, first thing I want to talk about is the rewinds were always said F5 and enter, even if you use a controller, because as you can see in the bottom left it says B for back. But the annoying animation where the rear would just step out for absolutely no reason and the guy would dangle off the bike, that was just so frustrating, because you couldn't turn when this happened. You just had to wait for him to get his leg back over the saddle. Now I'm glad they removed this in 2017. But yeah, that was probably the worst feature about it. The rear end just used to step out for no reason as well. So this time then, we'll have another go at this. You can't change the traction control mapping on the line actually, it's quite interesting. So up to traction control, actually I'll put it back up to 4 so not high side again. And this was before they all had seamless gearboxes in the game. So when you shift, there's a very noticeable sound. I'll try and be quiet for it for a second, hang on, when we exit this corner. And the bike noticeably jumps around as well. So we've been kind of punted a bit, well, we kind of went into the side of Smith, and that puts us on a bad line. Come on, try and get past Petrucci. Come on, down towards the next corner. At least on Petrucci, I've just bashed him out of the way. The rear end sliding out from behind me. We've just been past. Oh, there's a lot of people on the grass there. It's Crutchlow and one of the Repsols. I think it might be Pedrosa at the other side of Petrucci and Crutchlow we go. I don't know how I've pulled that one off. Oh no, but the bike just does not want to change direction. We've had contact with Rabat, but we're in 16th. Can we get some points here at Mugello? Come on. Through the first Arrabbiata, very tight. Up the inside of Baz, come on. Yes. Past Hernandez, past Crutchlow, past Petrucci. Ignore all the dirty moves. This is clean racing. Oh, wow. They can brake late. I'm just not used to braking so late. Like, I kind of bring around where I think I should brake for MotoGP 20. But it's ridiculous how much later you can brake on here. I mean, it's very difficult to crash from just braking too much. We've got him way too hot. That was crashing by not braking enough. I went too much the other way. But yeah, as you can see, the game is just so odd. The physics are weird. There were lots of physics mods at the time. And I remember trying a couple of them and thinking they were horrible. But actually, they're probably a lot better than the base physics. I bet if I tried them now, I'd probably quite like them. The camera angle seems a little off to me as well. I've just absolutely cut the Biondetti. And that's a 3/10 penalty apparently only for cutting that entire section. Into Buccini then. We've gone in very, very wide because it's just kind of difficult to get the bike turned in. The bike there's a lot of understeer. That's what I've noticed. The bike understeers a hell of a lot on this game. So in this extreme of, I think it's Baz in front of us. Yes, it is. Redding did the fastest lap, 1:49.6. Flying past Baz then on the brakes into the first corner. Look, that's the rear stepping out. That was your main issue on the brakes. You wouldn't lose the front, but the rear would just come round on you, and you get that weird animation we saw earlier with the dangling legs over the bike. And that was it, race done for you. Oh, here comes Petrucci trying to get on the power. Full gas, come on. There's just nothing there when you get full power. Like, there is very little difference between like half power and full power. I can't believe that was acceptable. So I lost the position to Petrucci, and I've just cut the inside of Arrabbiata 1. Well, actually, I think it might have been Arrabbiata 2. But the fact that I've gone full lean on the grass, full throttle, I've not crashed, and I've not been given a penalty for it. The game has saw that as a legitimate overtake. Imagine playing this game online back then. I bet it was horrendous. Although, oh, there we go, onto the grass. Finally, the lack of grip on the grass did get me. Before that, there was way too much grip. Oh, here comes Lavati up the inside. We actually did the Biondetti chicane somewhat properly this time, but Eugene is all over the back of us. We're dropping so far back from the guys ahead. I think it is a Hernandez and Cal, isn't it? We've gone way too wide into Buccini. That's allowed a few riders through, but we're on the power nice and early, trying to feather the throttle. And I realise that makes absolutely no difference after half throttle, it's just full. Rossi in the lead then, doing the fastest lap. I'd say you don't get that now, but you do still get that. On MotoGP 20 sometimes. If he qualifies well, he can lead the races. We've gone on the inside of Baz. Oh, come on. Oh, look at this on the grass. Full lead on the power. And again, that's not a penalty, but that's full grip. That was just as grippy as the tarmac. That's unbelievable. Where I think maybe the bit where the grass has worn away. Supposedly, oh, I've gone down again. So yeah, now I actually have to get on the power slightly more carefully because for some reason the tyre wear in this game, you get no tyre wear until it's like this point gone. And then all of a sudden it's absolutely undrivable when you shift up. What is this game? Honestly, I don't know how we put up with this for a year. Like, I don't know whether it's because at the time we wouldn't have known any better, so that there never had been like a better game. But I've just dropped down to last place, so no points for Vinales today then, I don't think. But honestly, I just don't see how we put up with this because it is so bad. It's just awful. It's like I used to league race in this game. I mean, albeit terribly, I was very bad, but I did used to league race. I think my best thing I ever did was diving on the inside of Robbo, I think. If you ask him about that, he's still not very happy about it. But yeah, that was about the highlight of my Valentino Rossi The Game league racing career, was at Austria just diving on the inside of Robbo. Oh, it's telling me race over. Here we go, towards the line then. Lorenzo won then, so Lorenzo must have passed Rossi on the last lap. My front tyre is absolutely gone. What? So it's a 3-lap race and my tyres actually went off completely. So the tyre wear is definitely scaled to race length. So the fastest AI, Lorenzo did a 45.7 and I did a 48.1. I was 10 seconds behind him after 3 laps. Look at the gap though. Look, Hernandez 3.9, and then the next guy, like Petrucci, who I was holding up for most of the race, 6 seconds behind. We might have held them up a little bit. Let's go to the VR46 walls now and do something there, because we've done the MotoGP. The physics, pretty bad. I mean, that is a general thing you'll find we say with probably any of the old games. 17, actually, to be fair, is not this bad. It's not great, but it's not this bad. So then, I think we'll do the flat track stuff then. So, official riders, you get quite a lot of riders to pick from for this, actually. So you get Rossi, and the 3D rendering on that model there is not as good as it is nowadays, that's for sure. And you get Marini then, Balega, Mino, Dennis Foggia. He was 15 back then. Look at his stats. His stats are pretty good. So he's only 15 years old. So that was before he was in Moto 3 or anything like that. I think that's where I got his number from for a mod. I think for the 2018 mod for MotoGP 17. I think that's where I got like all his assets from this game. So you got Bagnaia then, Celestino Vietti. Again, I think I did a similar thing. I think I got a lot of his assets from this game. You got Marco Bezzecchi. Was that before he was in Moto 3? I don't know actually. You know what? I think it was. I think his first season was 2017, but we can find out. Yeah, it was. He's not on this list, but interestingly enough, it's fun to go through here and see how some of the riders, Jean Mir, not Andrea Locatelli, but Jean Mir and Fabio Quartararo are actually teammates in the Leopard team in Moto 3 at this point. Quite interesting. And Brad Binder. So quite a few riders are now in MotoGP, in Moto 3 in this season. So yeah, this was Bezzecchi before he was in Moto 3 or anything like that. So then you got Franco Morbidelli as well. Lorenzo Baldassarri, just all the VR46 people. Finati, obviously this was before he was kicked out. He got kicked out, I think, during this season, but he was still in the VR46 Academy at that point. Antonelli as well. Federico Fellini. I did not know he was in this game. I think there's people where before I've like tried and looked for assets for them and stuff. Well, actually, I could have just took them from this game. Passini, Alberto Tibaldi. I don't know who that actually is. 47 years old apparently. Maros Sancini. So lots of older riders here. 46 as well. Obviously Valentino's dad, Graziano, 61. But you can play as him in this game. He's got to be the oldest rider in the game, surely. Marco Belli. So they actually went through and really did design a lot of textures for a lot of these flat track riders. Tony Carioli, is that? I don't know. I don't know who half these people are. Guy Martin. I do know who Guy Martin is, though. So Guy Martin, although he just seems to have pretty generic leathers and stuff. Chad Reed and Filippo Scalbi. So I don't know who most of these people, a lot of these people are. I know who all the VR46 people are, so I basically know up to this point. And obviously I know Graziano and of course Guy Martin. But to be honest, I think some of these riders might be like flat track riders or motocross riders, but I don't know who they are. Interesting that some of them have Yamahas, some of them have KTMs. Yeah, I think you can get a TM as well in this game. There's something you can get, yeah. So Graziano rides a TM. The TM was actually very good, so I'm actually going to play as Graziano. I liked the TM. So these are all the tracks you can play. So you can play Moto Ranch, you can play Moto Ranch Reverse, Moto Ranch Autumn, Moto Ranch Reverse but in Autumn, Misano Flat Track Arena, and Misano Flat Track Arena in reverse. So you could play 2 tracks, and you could also ride around them backwards, and you could also for some reason play them in Autumn. What the difference is, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend that I do, but we'll play the normal one anyway. Wait, like edition, you can do night? Oh, you can do evening, okay. Oh, hang on, I accidentally backed out of that. Right, let's do this race then. Let's do it. Some quite funky music here. Right, let's head into this then. So lots of riders on the grid. I don't know if it's all of them, but I remember actually we did a league race here on the flat tracks in the Robbo's Racing League actually, and I actually was fighting for the victory at one point. It was Robbo and Dylan were out front, and I was in third, not too far behind them. And I crashed. I made some stupid mistake. Whereas actually, I think I could have caught them up because they started battling and they had a bit of contact and lost a lot of time. But as you can see, the physics on the flat track I actually really enjoyed. To be honest, that was why I actually competed pretty well. I was atrocious at this game, right? I was absolutely nowhere near the front at all. But in that one race, I actually had the pace because this actually really suits my riding style. So look, we've just dive bombed our son out the way there. Accident behind, I picked up a penalty. Fanati's gone down apparently. But yeah, oh, I'm losing the rear end here. But yeah, the flat track in this game, I must say, was really fun. Now, I've never played an MXGP game or a flat track game or anything like that, but if it's anything, I mean, I know Milestone do make like motocross games like MXGP, so if the physics are anything like this, then it might be worth a go. It's actually quite fun. We're trying to look at the inside of Baldassari. Oh yes, look at the inside of Baldassari now. We've got to try and overtake our son again. Now this is where it gets a little bit confusing, because sometimes you'll think to dart right there, but actually no, it's the second time you can run. So you actually do go back on yourself, which in online, in a league race, or in qualifying, as I actually remember being a particular problem. I remember people holding me up a bit in qualifying here. You actually come across people and it'll really put you off because they're going to go the other way to you because they're at a different point in the lap. So that was actually quite interesting. I'll be honest, I do quite like the flat tracks. I know I keep saying it, but I think it's better than the actual MotoGP physics in this game. I mean, whether that's because I've never played an actual flat track game or whatever, that could be part of the problem. Someone that's actually played a off-roading, motocrossy kind of game might say, oh, the physics of this are terrible, but I quite like them. You sort of back it in and then full power through, which is, well, it definitely was back then my style. It still is a little bit to a certain extent now, but it's a bit more controlled. But Rossi does the fastest lap. That's Graziano though, not Valentino. I am just remembering that they are on easy though, so that might be why, or medium, that might be why I'm pulling away a little bit. 151. I think I remember my time being like a 47 or something like that. I could be wrong, like that could be like world record or something and I'm totally off, but I think my time was like a 47 something like that when I used to time trial this, because I time trialed it in the week up to the league race a lot because I felt really good with it and I actually enjoyed it. It was the only time I think I've ever really enjoyed doing a time trial, just because I really like riding the bike. We've got a massive penalty, look, we've got 1.3 seconds, I'm corner cutting so much, but it's just so easy to do. You get on the power, the bike just slides, and like I proved at Mugello, the grass has exactly the same level of grip as the tarmac, so it's easy to just go on it by accident. So there was no strict or lenient corner cutting then, it was just, you could literally just turn it on or off, which I actually have it on, at penalty time we're on. Through the last corner, then up towards the line, what's the target be? 48 there, so yeah, that probably was like a 47 or 46 or something like that. I remember it being something like that. So I think we might have dominated that one a little bit, but they were a little bit too easy. So that's probably why we managed that. But I think that's where we'll bring this video to a close then. So I hope you have enjoyed that. Basically me just complaining about the physics of this game the entire time and then getting on the flat track and going, yes, I remember doing well on this. And it seemed like I still got some of my old speed, corner cutting my way to the victory against the medium AI, of course. That's what we have to do here. But do let me know what you guys thought of Valentino Rossi The Game at the time, or what you think now looking back on it. Or if you never actually played it, let me know what you thought of it based on this video. I'm sure you got a really good impression of it. It wasn't a bad game. It had a lot of features, so that was nice. The physics were just horrible. But that's my final point on it. So like I said, hope you did enjoy that video then, guys. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.